we're gonna try to segue all those things into that regarding
At
the
school. They knew what fraternities you were in.
Definitely wasn't an easy decision. I sat down with my dad.
Not to say I hope I make it, but to know I'll make it. See a way out through a pinhole, take a shot.
Welcome to another episode of I Am the Change podcast, brought to you by DTR Incorporated, a nonprofit organization geared toward uplifting, inspiring, and empowering communities all over the world. I'm your host, Michael Davis, alongside the lovely Miss Reese Lovett and Mr. Jason Redmond. How y'all doing?
How are you today?
Good.
Doing great.
New gear.
And hey, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you upheld your bet, man.
I am excited. So let's go ahead and catch our guest up, and then we're going to reintroduce our guest. So during the NCAA tournament, we had a nice wager going on.
Mm-hmm.
So Duke lost to Carolina.
They did.
And I'm a diehard Duke fan. Carolina, I wore a Carolina shirt.
You did.
If Carolina lost in the finals, Michael had to wear a Duke shirt. So not only did he, and this is his first time back on the podcast since then. No, it hadn't come in before. That's what it was. Hadn't come in before. And so we were waiting for the shirt to come in. But then he over-delivered with the background too. I'm excited.
Yeah, man.
I
couldn't do it on time, so I had to do a little something extra.
We appreciate it. So we have Jim Savage back for another time to grace us with his presence. He is a fellow podcaster. He wears like 15 different hats, but he is taking his podcast that started like there's like a adult raunchy podcast and has like branched out to all
to an all adult these raunchy podcast.
Yeah, it was raunchy.
Then why not get invited, man? Why not get invited to this podcast?
So he has all these different like shows now, which is so neat to just see, to see what he started to blow up to what he's doing. So I'm gonna let him continue to introduce himself, and then we're gonna talk about what has happened since the last time he has been here with us.
I want to hear about that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about adult raunchy.
The word is adult raunchy podcast.
It was a little explicit. Well, it still is. But so the whole thing is it's a network. It's an entertainment network.
Okay.
So my whole thing was to start a network and then put a whole bunch of different shows underneath the network because it's all about entertainment. So I did start off with one show. What I told you last time on your show was I was doing like 6 to 7 days a week.
Right.
And trying to pull it out that way, and it didn't work. You know what I mean? It was just like trying to do too much at one time. So I put the one show out, which is VSOB. And that's me and a couple guys. We that was the raunchy you were talking about. And we just have different topics and subjects, and we talk about it any type of way we want to. It's SavageCom, so we're a bunch of savages saying anything we want to.
Gotcha.
And so once that started growing and we started getting into that, I was like, well, now it's time for me to put more shows underneath it. So my personal words were limited the way I see things on the VSOB segment.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to start my own little channel, which is Jim at Night. And that is just like me just in a like silhouette of me in the dark, just talking about things I want to talk about. And then I also want to do something where anybody is available to speak about anything they want to. So I started the LNS, which is Late Night Savages. And it's an open panel. We can go as long as we want. I start off with a subject or a topic, and we start from there and then go down the rabbit hole. And there's just more to come. I just like in a week we do have a ladies channel coming, and so she's gonna be starting in like about a week and a half, and she's gonna have her own show under the network. So that's pretty much what it is. I'm just trying to have a network with us all growing at the same time, build my brand up. That's about it. Jim Savage.
So what was the last topic y'all talked about on the VSOB? And that was it. VSOB?
Yeah, it's a various shades of black. That's what it stands for.
I like that. I never knew that.
Well, we just did a show today. Yeah, right before I got on here, we did a show, and we were doing reaction videos. And what it was is pretty much about African Americans reacting emotionally instead of logically. You know what I mean? Which we all know that we tend to be very emotional about situations and things that happen in front of us. And instead of thinking logically, we think out emotionally, and things happen the wrong way, and we end up getting caught up. So we were just picking we just had videos that we pick out situations and discuss them and why, and show why we should be thinking logically instead of emotionally. Yeah, I don't know if you guys seen it, where this lady had her children, they looked like very young children, and she was getting off of like a teapot ride, and I don't know what the guy that was operating the machine did.
Yes,
as soon as she jumped off, she had her daughter in one hand, her son behind her, and she dragged him onto an argument with the guy, and the guy ended up pushing her. And then people just start storming in, and their children could have got, debugged, or figure out what she could have did, he could have did better, or how he could have eliminated the children being affected. He swung on her, she fell, and then that's when a whole bunch of people decided to jump on that guy because what happened. But nobody was thinking about the kid of, at least if she wanted to be ratchet or do what she wanted to do, that's her choice. But put her kids to safety first and then make it, you know what I mean? The first choice should have been your kids should have been safe. So that's what we did pretty much. So that was the last show today. Is
it okay? So I know, just because I follow you, when you're talking about being reactionary to things, how the situation with Will and Jada, how that was I know. How there has been a discussion, and it was a long discussion. And so was that based on that incident, do you think, where, and I'm not going to have you go into this, because I know how you feel about that.
A lot of my content.
Hey, let him tell how he feels about the situation.
Huh?
Yeah, let him go ahead and speak on the situation. Yeah. Don't let Cherie censor you. Yeah.
Oh, I don't censor at all. Basically, Jada is a succubus Jezebel. That's what I do, pretty much. I feel sorry. I really feel sorry for Will Smith, but I also have to think of every angle. You know what I mean? Will Smith is being a simp and not being a man of what men should be doing, and laying his foot down and not allowing himself to be manipulated and sucked out of his soul. You know what I'm saying? When a man loves a woman, anything is possible, bro.
That's a song right there, brother. That's a song.
Yeah, right. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel bad for him to a certain extent, because growing up, that's Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? He's doing the right thing. Got the perfect marriage, perfect life. You know what I mean? And a lot of us growing up looked at him like, yeah, you not want to be Will Smith, but I want a life like that.
Right.
And then for this to come out, it's like, wow. You know what I mean? I was literally hurt. I was hurt.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. So I'm gonna take what you just said and kind of turn it. So are you more hurt that it was Will Smith that's going through this, or are you more hurt that a brother in the struggle is going through this? Because it can be looked at different ways.
To be honest, I'm more hurt that men go through this on a daily basis.
But men go through this all the time. Like it's men that
But that's what I'm saying. I'm hurt that men go to daily basis, and then for it to be like a cherry on top, it's Will Smith, someone that I kind of looked up to and followed, and appreciate that he was thought. All of us had in our minds that man's doing great. He's not suffering, he's not struggling. You know what I mean? But we look at it now and then put two and two together. The man was hurting the whole time, and that sucks.
Yeah. So my issue with the whole thing was like, so I'm not real versed in the whole situation because, to be honest, I hate to say this, I really don't care what they like. That's a whole ball of wax I don't want to get into because I don't want to dive into it because I'm like, if I was that guy, I wouldn't want nobody trying to pick and poke through my situation. But my thing is like, I'd have been really upset if I got drugged on a TV show to talk about the infidelity that my wife had. Like, you could have told me that at the house. You ain't got to tell me that in public. Hey, see?
For real. Yeah.
Tell me that at the table. Like, we're eating dinner on Sunday to all the families around. Hey, by the way.
No, not even all the family. Why can't that just literally be pillow talk? Like,
it could be that too, but you ain't got to tell me on TV. Talk. Yeah. You told me in front of millions of people that follow Jada.
Like, yeah. How do you know I wanted to?
You allowed that. Right now. You allowed that to happen.
I feel like she's definitely a narcissist. And I don't know. It's just a mess. And he's so broken. And, so Jim on his Facebook page, he will ask these questions. I think some are to ruffle people's feathers and others are really to get the people to think. And so there's some that I choose not to answer just because it doesn't end at your answer because he's coming back with something else. Like you can't just answer his questions. But I think that's one comment I had put that Will Smith is just so broken and you can just see it. It's like any piece of life, even when he came out with his book and, you just see the hurt in his eyes and, you try to mask it. I think people try to mask hurt every day, but when you're on somebody on that stage at that level, and it's like, you can't. After a while, it starts showing, and like you said, especially when your wife, your confidant, is airing your dirty laundry for everybody.
But here's the thing, though, like Jim. So Jim said it. Like he had the perfect guy persona. Like he was making money. He went from the Fresh Prince. He went from like DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince to being the Fresh Prince in Bel Air. He went to doing Independence Day.
Pursuit of Happiness is also going to be my favorite.
He did hits. He had hit after hit after hit. Yeah. He got jiggy in Miami. He didn't miss a beat. But now, he's looking human. So my thing is, this is gonna sound bad. I appreciate what he's going through, and it's on display for everybody to see. Because now I'm like, this man is human. This man goes through some of the same things that people I know are going through, and I can I can relate to what he's going through. Like I can't relate to my wife telling me that she's having an affair on TV. However, I know somebody whose wife had an affair. Like, hey man, so it's unfortunate to go through that. But at the same time, man, it's like, man, it sucks to be him right now. But people they love you when you're on top, but they hate you when you're doing so well. So now people are coming back. And I think personally, Jada's a G. Like I think Jada Pinkett Smith is a G. Like,
but she's keeping that name relevant right now. Well, her anyway.
Both of them, and again, both of them are.
Yeah.
Like, good publicity. Bad publicity, they getting all the pub. Like people are talking about it.
Look at the posture. He's ready to burst.
Hey, I'm just saying. I think Jada's a G, man. I feel bad for Will, but I still think Jada's a G. Like, she took down the Fresh Prince.
Just avoiding, trying to not have to speak on the whole situation, and then like carry on with everything else she got going on. You know what I'm saying? And then Will is broken, but I feel like he shouldn't have portrayed that like perfect man. You know what I'm saying, persona, because like now I think that blow is so much like harder, and it's like, you know what I'm saying, let's take him down a little bit further.
Okay, let's take it back even further. So when we put these people on a pedestal and look at how perfect their life seems, or even the characters in which they play.
Right.
Well, and Jim, we'll start with you. How do you feel about the situation with Bill Cosby? Because he took a hit too, and we're like, oh, he is America's dad, and now he has all these things and accusations coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I'm going to say is, as we've seen in history, as we've seen all over the world, any black man that's successful and goes against any part that could destroy him, they do it and then they get destroyed. Plain and simple. Yeah. They will make up and create any type of life that ruins you, and they're good at it. Mm-hmm. As you can see, they can dig up old ladies that didn't complain right when it happened to complain 50 to 30 years later about something that happened, which always happened in that era. Everything that they talked about, they appreciated and loved to do in that era. That's what they was brought up on. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The drugs, alcohol, sex, money, all that stuff. Why are you at a grown man's house doing drugs and they don't expect, like, why is anybody around that type of shit not expect things to go down? Mm-hmm.
Jim, you're gonna get the feminists are gonna come after you, Jim. Yeah, the feminists are coming to get you, Jim.
They need to, bro. That's what I'm here for. Come and get me. That's what my whole listen, Savage. I don't care. I'm a savage. I don't care what. Listen, they can't stand me. Right? On Facebook, they cannot stand me, and I continue. But you see,
it's funny.
They can't stop. They can't stop getting. They can't stop responding. They can't stop responding.
Hey, it goes back to that good publicity, bad publicity. You getting pub, Jim?
No, and it ends up being, and it'll be the ones. And I sit back and laugh because then he'll say, "This question is for the fellas," and the first 10 comments are females commenting.
Oh, females. I didn't know y'all had Adam's apples. I'm sorry.
And so it is.
They're gonna cancel us, Michael. They're gonna kick us off YouTube.
Boy. What? Oh man.
No, go ahead.
They let you say a lot.
No, but to your point, I agree. Like, I think that time, like, stuff that you could do back in the stuff that was done back in the 60s definitely is not 40, 50 years later, 60 years later is not it's not okay today. So I just felt like, and I'm answering the question that Sharice asked about Bill Cosby. I think that there are no statute of limitations to those things, that you can bring up dirt from somebody back in the past that they did when they were younger. Like, right. To me, and I'm like, that's like character killing. Like, you waited 60 years to kill this man's character. This man's what, late 70s, early 80s?
He was trying to buy a network, and it was a white network. And
he was trying to buy NBC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And then they was like, Bill Cosby, now let's destroy him. Yeah. They want, you know what I mean? Anytime we try to take over something, they're not gonna allow it.
So the only guy that they didn't assassinate his character and they didn't knock him down was Byron Allen, because he bought the Weather Channel. But he did buy the Weather Channel. I mean, but he bought the Weather Channel.
They lie on there all the time. So,
hey man, but again, I can go with the fact what you're saying. Like, you get too powerful.
Yeah, that's nothing they can really change. They lie about weather. It's not really
right. You know what I mean? Hey, not now. Byron Allen owns the Weather Channel.
Oh man. It didn't rain. It didn't rain. You said it rained. It didn't rain. Yeah. And they just go by business. It doesn't really matter.
But I do think they should have waited. They could have, like, to me, all that stuff, waiting 30, 40 years, 50 years down the road, that's a tough one for me, man. Like,
it is.
My thing is, like, if he did it, damn, that's fucked up. But if he didn't do it, if he did it and, like, you wait 60 years, like, damn, why you wait 60 years? Like,
it's a rule. Like, there's no common sense in any thought process nowadays. Everybody's so full of sensitivity and emotion that, with the common sense being in your face, they're still like, oh my God, he did some crazy stuff. Do the timeline, do the math. Yeah. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why I got the cancel culture now. You can't say anything.
Yeah.
But that's not my network.
At all.
It's not my network. I don't care. We say whatever.
Not Savage TV.
No, you don't understand. Listen, and I'm not gonna air everything. Y'all just have to go to his YouTube channel, and subscribe.
Yeah.
And because
I need the link.
Everything is fair game. If you are on a show, you better come 100% because he is gonna find it and clip it out, and he airing everybody's dirty laundry. But it's funny. It is fun. It's funny. You have so one of your co-hosts, Steve, has doing a sports segment now.
Yes, very proud of that. Doing good.
It's doing great. So it's cool because it's taking those little pieces and still having that same round table discussion, you know, with the added flavor of y'all, because y'all are
I know you're not gonna say the added flavor, right? We had a show. It was all about sports, right? And so we do a little halftime thing. So we put the halftime show up there, and it's recorded already. One of the guys up there didn't know how long the halftime show was. He thought it was going to be like at least 15, 20 minutes. It's only 1 minute long, right? The whole thing. So we play the halftime show. We come back. Two of the guys are there. One of the guys gone. All of a sudden, we hear moans in the background. Like, you know what I mean? Some moans in the background. And then they look like, what is that noise? Like, what is that noise? And then next thing you know, it gets stronger. So my one of my boys muted. He was like, we know what's going down. Next thing you know, he comes sweating.
He's sweating.
Drinking water. We just died. Everybody was like, this is about to go viral. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because where he messed up too is he didn't stop his camera either. Anything. So
we didn't see anything. We just heard it.
You didn't see anything, but his camera was still on and his audio was still on.
So I had to clip that.
Oh man.
Wow.
I took that part and made it just a personal clip. And we call it grits because at the beginning of the thing, he's making grits. And they were questioning why he making grits and this, whatever. And then like part of it after like that scene, a friend of mine was like, it wasn't the grits. It had to be
some good grits.
He was like, yeah, grits.
Oh man.
It was some good grits.
Some good grits, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who else have you caught slipping? We
didn't just have fun.
I said, who else have you caught slipping? Somebody's old lady looking at the screen.
The same person. That's why he got his name Grits.
Oh.
We tried to sneak up there and see what he was doing. And I clipped it out, making a nice little slow-mo. You can see her eyes is looking like, what the hell is he doing down there? You know, I mean, one of those looks where your wife tried to catch you out or your girl tried to catch you out on the phone or something like that. It worked out perfectly. Gotcha. So, you know, we make the show, but if I see something up there that, you know, get a couple more views and whatever like that, I'll clip it up, do my own thing with it, and then put it out there. But it works. It's entertainment, man. It's Savage entertainment. Whatever happens, I do have my disclaimer though. It says that if you come on this show, you are liable to be recorded, and a clip, whatever you say or whatever you do is liable to be recorded and clipped by me and put back on YouTube for blah blah blah. We put up there all the time, so it is what it is.
Yes.
Man, I got to get an invite to Savage TV.
Come on down and enjoy the show.
You know, we need to do another gender wars.
Yeah.
What was the gender war?
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, we need to do another gender war.
It was guys versus the guys versus ladies.
And we just ask like random questions, but we got to figure out another way. Like we got to have a neutral person who gets all the questions and all the answers.
Yeah, the one that asks all the answers, and we see who. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah,
y'all were cheating.
No, y'all were cheating.
The ladies cheated, and they still lost.
We did not cheat. It was three men against two females, and we came in. Was it not?
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was three of us.
No, it was just me and the lady that liked to cook.
Oh yeah, okay.
How did you pick your guests?
I just put it out there. Whoever wants to come on, and then we whoever says yes, hit them up and come on. I'm trying to have open panels where anybody can come on and say what they want, do what they want. I really don't hold anything. If we want to talk about something, let's do it. You want to be on the show, have a good time, let's do it. It's all I want, entertainment regardless. You know what I mean? That's all I want. Entertain the people in a savage way.
And I think the
the
platform that you use, because yours is live, so you get that interaction from the viewers.
I need to get on Savage TV.
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to tell you, you have to now. They don't have
Would you do like Facebook Live or something?
All YouTube. Live on YouTube.
Live. Okay. Back. Yeah.
And they don't. Now, if you go up there, if you make sure you got a whole bunch of time, because they don't believe in keeping stuff within a certain time limit. Because that Sunday for Gender Wars, we were up there for 3.5 hours.
Oh no! I ain't got 3 hours. No, I ain't got.
No, it's the thing. You can jump on and off anytime you want to. You know what I mean? We have enough. And if it starts slowing down in the show, well, you know what I'm saying? It's just we don't want to rush people from nothing. Let's just have a good time. Yeah, if it lasts long, it lasts. If it don't, it don't.
I got you.
You know what I mean? It's the option. We have that option to do so why not?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What? So how do you? So when you go from Savage TV to Late Night with Jim to do you think you're gonna make a show like Gender Wars? Like, could that be a show?
It could be. It could if it picks up. Yeah, I think people will love it. To be honest with you, because who doesn't want to see what female doesn't want to see if they're smarter than a man? What man doesn't want to see if they're smarter than a woman? Who doesn't want to compete? You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I just know I have a stand-in on that.
We had a ball though. The way we did it was we had like times. We had the time with the bomb on it. It didn't work too much, but
yeah, it didn't work well. Because he does a lot of animation.
We're just here to entertain and have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try I have to upgrade my Wi-Fi to where I can have the streaming where I can play videos and do all that stuff. I have the regular Wi-Fi, so it's kind of hard for it to go through without regular streaming Wi-Fi. So if I get that, I'll be able to play my videos and times, all that stuff. So when I'm adding too much, it starts to slow down a little bit. But we work with it. I don't care. We work with it. This is what it is. And also, it's like a journal. You know what I mean? Like you'll see my shows from the beginning. You'll see the production on the beginning, and it's a lot weaker than it is now. You'll see the graphics is a lot different than they are now. The intros and all that stuff. It's a lot. It's all it is. Progress is like a big journal of me progressing in the YouTube streets. You know what I mean? And I'll take it off.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
it goes back to that Will Smith comment you made. It goes back to that Will Smith comment you made. Now you're not a perfect production. You are a production in progress.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. And I'm willing for people to see that.
Yep. Like I got up the curtains today since nobody has curtains anymore. Sharice and Michael.
Yeah.
Jim, you got curtains in your house?
I've never.
Hey, we ain't never gonna hear the end of that.
Never.
We ain't never gonna hear the end of that.
But he's also over 50. He's also over 50. Jim, do you have curtains in your house?
Like she said.
He didn't hear you.
What?
Do you have curtains in your house?
Well, I know I heard it. The thing about it is I'm moving around. So there are some curtains where I am, but
Thank you.
I'm not willing to show them.
Thank you. My man
I would be. What's wrong with curtains? Did you hear the curtains?
Oh man, so it was a couple weeks ago. Cerise like, I don't have curtains up. I've just moved in. I'm like, oh
no, that's not how it started. What were we talking about? We were talking about spring cleaning and what does spring cleaning mean to us? And I said, well, I don't have to take down curtains and clean those. I don't have curtains. And he was like, what? You don't have curtains?
I didn't say it like that. I didn't say it like that. I said that, but I didn't say it like that.
Oh man.
Why don't you have curtains?
Yeah. Because I don't have curtains either. I just got the
blinds. Yeah. Oh, okay. Just all right, but something though.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
something cool. Yeah,
curtains.
yeah.
So I
I know
got
bare
curtains in front of
windows,
my
but-
blinds.
Yeah, when I say when it's like no curtains, I'm like you got an open window and people just looking through it.
no.
Like
Oh,
they,
yeah.
but if
Absolutely
you got
not.
blinds, that's cool.
Yeah, I got blinds.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
curtains.
Okay.
Right, but I'm saying like, so I have so Jim, I got curtains, and they're like, oh, what? You got curtains? What? You're so
That
old.
means,
You are.
that means you are decorating your house the way you want it to be.
So I can't take credit for these curtains, Jim. This is not me. I did not do this. This is my
What
wife.
is that? Pink?
No, there's definitely not pink. No, it's definitely not pink. This is burgundy, gold. Yeah, what is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a fan of red, burgundy, and all that stuff too. I got burgundy curtains, and it's just not up.
Yeah,
But
it's cool. Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with burgundy at all.
There's nothing wrong with burgundy. As you can tell in my background, I love burgundy.
Yeah, I'm not a burgundy
red.
fan, but I'm this. I didn't pick these. They go with the decor, but it is what it is. I don't.
You picked them to be your background.
I'm sitting in here. I'm just sitting in here. I'm just sitting here for today. Yeah. I can't take credit for the curtain. I'm not doing that. This wasn't me. This is my wife.
Oh man.
Yeah, but it
That
goes
was
with the
funny,
decor,
man.
so it matches.
It's
Yeah.
so good. So I got to deal with the wrinkled green screen right now. So
Hey,
it is what it is.
okay. I'm wearing. I got my curtains because you got the green screen. We're matching.
All right,
Yeah.
they got
Now
their
we're matching.
background.
Yeah, they got the fly background.
Man, trust me, brother. I don't want to have this background up. Trust me.
Well, at least
I
you
don't-
lost a bet though.
At least you have a background. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I can dig it.
Yeah, you lost a bet. You got to put that background up.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
that comes in the territory. You lost the bet. That's what happens.
Yep.
I didn't.
You could have actually
I
put
got-
the background up last week, 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I could have. You know.
No, that wasn't
But
it. He
that
had
wasn't
to
the
wear
bet.
shirt.
The bet was the shirt, so that's why the background was extra. Really, I had to have the shirt. I knew if I showed up this week without it, I wasn't gonna hear the end of it.
You weren't.
No,
I was
She'd probably
late.
reach through the computer on me. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all. She was talking about last week we was recording.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Because I've been patiently waiting.
yeah, I know.
I know. Yeah.
She was excited about you when you popped up with the shirt on and the background.
In the background. Oh,
Yeah, you made a brand new friend.
no, my
I would love for you guys to come on the show, man. We do something. I'm all about collabos too, man. Do whatever.
Yeah, man. Let's
Come
do
on,
it.
entertain, man. This is what it is.
Yeah.
The topics I come up with, I love it, man. It's. I know some people are like, damn, I don't want to get involved in that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's real life. It's like I know we all had people in front of us or situations happen, and we're sitting there like, damn, I want to say this. I want to say this. But you don't say it because you know it'll ruffle feathers and this.
Not on Jim
I'm that
TV,
guy.
you won't. You gotta say it.
Oh, on this one, come on, give us a topic. Let's go ahead and have a conversation.
Uh-oh.
One of my topics?
Within reason.
Ooh, what's that? I don't know what the reason is.
You know
Oh
what-
wait, so
I feel like if you open that door, you'll
about
get what
to-
you get.
you about to-
You know what I'm saying?
You sure you want to open Pandora's box with Jim Savage?
she done it now.
Yeah, come on.
Did it? Whew. Well, I'm gonna try to go into my Facebook, and because that's the most dangerous place ever.
Let me, because you have to be smart in what you answer and how you
Yeah,
answer on his Facebook.
Oh yes, because it all comes with there's the goal of where it should be, but then I make it small but open where you're able to say something and have anyone like get at you because you're not really picking up on what the goal is. Because up here, the question's down here. You got
I think I made it to a goal this week. I think I answered one how you were looking.
Yes. You get the heart and then nothing else because you. I don't know. These are pretty much the real.
Uh-oh.
I think you can give us one. I don't think we'll be
He's diving deep into the book.
So no, I just did the show and it didn't go the way I wanted to go because I really didn't. I really didn't get at people, but it was called Baby Daddy, Father, Stepfather, New Boyfriend. Now, just by saying that, you understand where it's going with that. It's pretty much about the men speaking, like, how do we feel about being these, why it ended up this way, especially the new boyfriend. Like, how do you go about thinking about like that right there when you have a kid by somebody, especially when you want to be around your kids but can't, but they're allowing other, you know what I mean? It's a rabbit hole. It's just a whole bunch of different things that you could go through to discuss that. And a lot of people will get hurt mentally thinking about it and talking about it. And I'm not about hurting people. It's about let's have that discussion, because a lot of people go through life with a discussion that you need to have, but they're too scared to have it because it's too much for people. I don't care.
Right.
If it's too much for you, the conversation needs to happen. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's how you communicate. And a lot of people, the key to any relationship, anything to grow, is communication.
Facts.
So you got me out there putting up that real communication out, like, no, we're not going to skip that, because you're skipping a piece of life that needs to be talked about. So let's talk about this. You know, and I got to the point where I told people that I had to accept a man taking care of my kids when the mother didn't want me to be around, or she's making it hard for me to be around. Also, I had to accept that I thought the guy didn't like me, kids, and come to find out she's doing the same thing to every man that she puts in her life. I talked to that guy. He's like, no, I wanted to talk to you, but she wouldn't let me. I was telling her to bring you around us, but she wouldn't let me. I didn't know these things. You know what I'm saying? Until I talked to that guy. So that's one of the reasons why I came up with the subject, because it was like, these are the things that nobody talks about. How the guy really wants you to be around and thinks that you're a good dude, but the mother manipulates the whole situation, thinking that, and they have everybody going against each other. You know what I mean? And nobody's talking about that. The things that people do, nobody talks about, and just lets it slide under the rug. Well, we have to pay child support. Why? And also, like, rich people paying $5,000 a month for a kid that don't even need that much money. Why?
Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Why? Why are you still going in 2022? Why are you still going off of people's income for the kids when you should go off what it does, what it takes to maintain that kid, and that's what you pay? Instead of, oh, you making millions? All right, let me give the kid $500,000 a month. No kid needs $500,000 a month for what?
I mean, private school don't cost that much. I mean, private school.
Even club sports and stuff like that don't cost that much. But can we back up a little bit though before we get too far?
Where we going?
Sure.
So the conversation that you had about this topic, it was all men talking, or was this a open panel discussion?
It was supposed to be open panel. Actually, I did have a female come on, but then someone came to in front of her and distracted her, and she ended up getting off. So it's just men talking about it, to be honest with you. Okay. But I didn't get the discussion I wanted. I got enough feedback, but not what I really wanted. I wanted enough people to sit there, like men and women, and really sit there and discuss this, because we need, like, the things that come up with, we all need to talk about it, to be honest with you. And we all, as men and women, we need to sit down. And I know it's not going to go right for a long time until we come to a conclusion, but I'm willing to have that and go all night to do it.
I mean, I do feel like a lot of women manipulate the situation when it comes to the baby daddy or whatever title, kid's father, you know, things like that. And it's sad because it hurts. Like, I've seen some really good fathers do for their kids, and I've seen some deadbeats that, you know, don't deserve to breathe the same air their child breathes. But for the guys that are doing so,
that's rough right there. Yeah. See,
I breathe the same air your child.
That's like one. I think that's about 1 to 2% of men.
So I know of a guy who has five kids three baby mamas. So the situation, it was crazy so he had baby mama one. He went to second child with a second woman, went back to the first woman for the third child, went back to the second woman for the fourth child, and then his current relationship was with baby 5. So, did y'all follow that?
Just kind of keep it in the same circle until the last one, but
right, because the last one is his current relationship. So
you might be a polygamist.
I mean, whatever floats your boat. So he and I would have conversation, and he would just be so frustrated because, like, when it comes to, like, they can get manipulative when it comes to money. So, like, he would claim one, she would claim one. Like, for one of the moms, they would each claim a child on their taxes. So in my mind, if I'm claiming a child and you're claiming a child, whatever we get for that child for our taxes is for us to do whatever we need to do technically for that child. He had to give her half of what he got from the second child.
Wow.
And so to keep her happy. And I'm just like, but why? Like, and he has them most of the time. So I'm like, you're benefiting on so different many levels. And now you hanging money or, whatever situation over his head. And it's just like, but I mean, he's a good father. And, he always has all his kids. When I see him, all his kids are together. And I'm just like, but why make it so hard? And then you have like a person like me who's like, dang, I want you to at least try to spend some time with your child. And, I remember my middle child, my first son, it was to the point where I had to teach his dad, where he'll be like, well, I gave you child support. Sir, you sent me like $50 for the month. That doesn't include diaper. Like, he has diapers, formula. So I said, well, and then when I would send my son with him, like his clothes and stuff would come back all messed up. And I'm like, I worked too hard for you to mistreat. So I would literally send him in a onesie and a diaper. And you know what? You got to clothe him while he's with you. So, I mean, and it's hard, and you don't want to do that. But in some situations, it's like, it's that extreme measure. And I don't even want to call it. He was a donor at that point. You weren't even a baby daddy.
Yeah, every measure is an extreme, depending. Like the question I asked, one of the questions I asked, which I've never heard anybody ask, are men forced to be deadbeat dads? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to be, but are men forced?
About that.
Are we?
I don't think we're forced to be
situations to be deadbeat dads.
Yeah.
Or not to be deadbeat, but to be seen as or play that role as a deadbeat because there's no other choice, because you won't give me that choice of being with my kids, spending time with kids. Now I gotta pay all this money for child support, so now I gotta work. You can't spend the time. Before I was able to, but now I can't.
So I don't think you're forced though. I think that's a personal. I think you choose. To me, like, so if I had a situation where I had my spouse and I we split up and we had children together, I'm like, hey, yo, at the end of the day, I've got children. Like she and I may not work out, but I'm gonna always have these children. So no matter what the case may be, it's about those children. So my thing is, we got to be equitable in our conversation. So now it's like, hey, look, we don't have to get along. We don't have to agree. We don't even have to have a conversation about anything but these children. And it goes from, hey, look, this is the conversation. This is it. Like the junior needs shoes. All right, cool. I'll pick him up on Friday I get him after school. Let the teachers know I'm coming to get him after school. Junior not going to get shoes. Now, if his junior and his sister need shoes, I get both. Matter of fact, I just get both of them after school. And boom, now I spend the time with my children. We'll get them shoes. We'll hang out. We'll do what we do. Give them dad moments. If I got to keep them for the weekend, I keep them for the weekend. But you have to have conversations with that other person, letting them know these are the parameters. These are the guidelines. This is what I will do. This is what I will not do. This is what I will accept around my children. If you choose a date.
That sounds like a conversation with a woman that's not scorned.
I mean, but right.
So
everybody is not that reasonable.
Easy.
But at the end of the day, but if she's scorned, then there's a legal system. You got to go to the legal system. And I hate to say it, but if it's a situation where you can't be equitable, you can't. She's mad about the way the relationship ended. Hey, look, it was what it was. It ended. You're mad. I'm free.
How many men?
But
how
Jason,
many men are?
But see, I don't think it's always that simple.
It's yeah.
Because,
It's not because
like,
what if throughout the pregnancy you drug her through the mud and everything, and then all of a sudden you want to be like, oh, I want to be a good father. Not listen, baby. I don't know.
But see, now you're adding into the equation.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You drug her through the mud, but not the kids.
Yeah.
Like that's that it has to be a separation. It doesn't matter what y'all think about each other.
Exactly.
Y'all made kids. It's a whole different world. It's a separation.
But
You
it's not always gonna be that. But it's not always that separation. Like people are not always thinking logically. Like, all right, let's separate. Like how you treat me, I'm not gonna take this out on the kids. Like most of the time, I mean, cause like, all right, I got a homeboy that's a deadbeat, and the mom will let him see the kids all the time. But then I also got a homeboy that's like, when he was up, the only time he could see the kids is when he paid the bill or gave her some money and stuff like that. So now, like, he in a situation where he don't got it like he used to, and he trying to like work crazy hours and stuff like that. And now because he's so tired all the time, like he can't see the kids, but he still got to give her money and this, that, and the third. So it's like, the situations vary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's tough, and that goes back to, hey, this is the situation that we're in. So it's either expressed authority or implied. The implied authority was he was going to always have that money. He was always going to have that lifestyle. That was implied, and she took it as, well, he's always going to have it. This ain't no problem for him. But the reality was, yeah, it is, because this is going to end at some point in time. So again, like Jim was saying, you got it's if that chick is scorned or that guy is scorned, there's going to be a problem. We have to take ourselves out of the relationship and put, hey, look, it's not about us anymore. It's about these children. It's about the benefit of the kids, and we're going to make sure the children grow up. It ain't going to be in a two-parent household, but we're going to have two parents involved in their children's life. And I think that's more important than how I think about it.
That's why I came up with the question, are we forced to be deadbeat? I'm not saying the man is a deadbeat at all. But I'm saying it gets so hard that it's like, well, I can't keep forcing him something that's not going to happen. I need to get back to my life so I can at least be sane, at least handle my bills, handle my, my house, because I just see a lot of guys that they'll put their shit aside, not even pay their bills, this and that, whatever, to try to fight to get the kids, but then they forget about their life. Now I don't have no apartment, I ain't got this, because I didn't pay attention to it, because I was too busy trying to fight with this one, and now you're forced to be a deadbeat because I now have to put you aside and the kid, because I need to live too. I can't give nothing to nobody if I don't live, right?
Right.
Now, I can honestly say with my kid's father, like I was lucky to have a third party who was that gap, because it got to the point where I couldn't speak to them, but I never withheld my kids from their father. Now, if we gave you an opportunity to spend time and see them and you chose not to, then that's different. I don't have, but they like to use the excuse, well, why can't you bring them? Don't worry about who's bringing them. The point is, do you want to see them or not?
Right.
And it's like I don't need to be involved, because if I'm involved that closely, then you won't see them. So if the goal is for you to spend time with your kids, then that is what I'm trying to make happen. Right. My kids, only one of their fathers was on child support, because after that first, when I tried to get the second one on child support, I was taking off too much time off from work, and it was messing up my pocket. So I was like, I'm not even gonna fight this one. So he messed up for everybody else. But it still was, you don't need to see me to see your child. Leave me out of it. And just as long as your child gets to said meeting place for however long, then that's what it needs to be.
Right.
But see, I don't even think it's like that these days, because it's like you got babies raising babies, and these kids ain't got no sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, ain't no conversations, ain't no real communications in relationship talk about these kids. Like these kids, I've seen the craziest situations in public. Where the kids is just like you. I mean, they got to be suffering because
Yeah.
neither one of the parents care. All they doing is arguing, yelling at each other, and they're not even worried about like the kids' safety, well-being, nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just about that toxic situation they in.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. With a big part of my show is sensitivity and emotions. How they need to be checked and regulated and controlled. Because a lot of decisions and a lot of things that are made over emotions, and they're not the right decisions. A lot of men are in prison because of emotional sensitive situations on all parts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get shot. A lot of things happen to people because of emotional sensitive situations. And to be honest with you, a lot of men are being raised in a household of sensitivity and emotions. You know what I'm saying? And that's a reason why there's so many men that are not acting like men doing emotional shit. Sorry, whatever. Emotional things out there, and we're not going down the right path because of that. You know what I mean?
But I think that on that topic, I think you're talking about, so I think that when you have a mom raising a son, I believe that a mom can raise a son. Now, she's gonna need some a male interaction to teach him how to do male stuff.
Right.
Like, for example, a mom teaching a young boy how to potty train him. They're gonna teach him. Initially, he's gonna sit down on the toilet, but when you teach a young boy, like, hey, you got to stand up and pee. Like, for me, like, what are you aiming at? Like, that's something simple as like, what are you aiming at? What are you telling him to aim at when he's in the bathroom? Are you just telling him to pee in the big bowl, or are you telling him to aim at the smaller circle in the toilet? There's a difference, because you got to aim. Like, you just that thing get off track now. It'll shoot everywhere. Like, you got to be careful. Like, that thing is a loaded missile. It's got projectiles. And that thing will get everywhere.
Yeah.
And then not only that too, like, I think some parents will tell their child, hey, you got to be tough. You got to be hard. You can't cry. That's not true. You can cry. Like, you can't express your opinion. You can't express your emotions. Now, you can't cry because you spilled your milk in the cafeteria. That ain't crying material. But you can cry because of somebody passed away. You can cry because you feel sad. I mean, but I think there are certain points in times that you have to toughen up. Like, I was watching.
I think the guy has to regulate that though with a boy.
But yeah,
when is the time to cry? When is not the time? Because we can't just sit around crying for nothing.
Yeah, you can't cry because your shoelace broke. That's not cry material. Yeah,
it's sad because you're crying and you're sad. Who cares? Nobody cares.
But but like they were talking about on Blackish, they were talking about how Lawrence Fishburne's character was talking about, you can't cry in public, you got to be tough, and he expressed why he was saying those things. I'm like, I think the thing though is, I think fathers have to, or males in particular, male role models have to pour back into their children, mentees, male children or female children. Hey, there's certain things you can and can't do in society. Like, for me, I poured into my daughter, like, hey, look, man, we don't bring just anybody to the house. She didn't bring anybody to the house, but it was more like, hey, just don't bring anybody to the house. Like, there's a certain standard of a guy that we bring home. And if he doesn't meet that standard, he can't come. And for my son, I'm like, hey, man, if you're going to be out here, slaying and laying, Doc, you got to wrap that thing up. You can't just be out here just, willy-nilly with this joystick, because this is a deadly weapon and this thing produces problems. And if you're going to go out here and do that, you got to get a job, because I didn't make that child. You did. That's your kid. That's your young. So I think that you have to pour into them in certain things. Like, if you're only responsible for just you getting up, going to school and coming home, that's your job. That's what you do. You do it to the best of your ability. If you only got to go to school, get all A's. If that's all you got to do. If you play a sport, get all A's and be great at what you do. Go 100% at what you do and call it a day. And then, but nowadays, we want to pour all into to one thing and forget about the other thing.
What do you think about letting your kids tell you what they want?
I mean, I feel like everybody has an opinion. I ain't got to listen to it. I ain't got to. I don't have to respond to it. Like, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. But
I can hear you out.
All right, so like, how there's more kids nowadays. Like, they were like 10, 12 years old. I would identify as so and so.
Oh, yeah, no, so that.
Well, see, nah, because like that's gotta be. I feel like that. Like, let the kids be kids.
Doing that right now.
Yeah, like let them.
Yeah.
You ain't even hit
I don't
puberty
want to
yet.
get too far into it because
No, but you got a great. We talked about this.
Yeah, we have.
But okay, are we allowing them to be kids? So when you look at a child we were okay with it in daycare because they had, their centers. So they played house and they had the baby doll and the little boy was burping the baby and the little boy, and they were able to use their imagination and have dress up corner. Do you say that at a certain age that should stop? Or are we saying that, if my 12-year-old son is still that nurturing child, and am I now looking at him differently? Like, how far are we taking this?
I think it's what they were teaching, the regimen they had for teaching you that the guy burping, that's part of being a father too. I think social media should be away from the kids until their brains are developed enough to understand what they're watching. Right. So I don't think any kid should be having these tablets, these phones until the age of like 18 above. They need to be kids. They also need to have that room to do their work when they're teenagers and not be manipulated by social media. This is why they're fighting back with this and that, whatever. That's why they know these rules that you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? This is how they're like, oh, you can't talk to me this way because I'll call this person, and you know what I mean? And then they take advantage of everything that's going on around you. Yeah. You have no say anymore because of this social media and all the information that they're getting like this.
But see, that's the thing that you're talking about. They can call these people. They got to be able to have a phone though to call somebody. So if you gave that child a phone, so my children argue about when they got cell phones. My daughter got a cell phone because of the fact that we changed the plan up and we were allotted a phone. And so that's how she got her phone. My son was mad because he had to wait till he got to middle school to get his phone. But you're the firstborn son, you're the firstborn child. So, hey man, you're the guinea pig. So that's what happens. It sucks to be first.
Listen, the phone will have not one thing on it but a number. You can't look at you. They have restrictions. No,
get them a flip phone.
Nothing.
You give them, the old school flip phones.
Yeah, nothing on it but a number. That's fine. Yeah. But we're so quick. They let we had a hard day at work. So you know what? Hey kids, go watch TV. Let's not spend no time with you. Go watch TV. You ain't watching them, and they're just sitting there watching. I've done it even with my niece. She's too young to be watching people kiss on TV. I'm like, what are you watching? Yeah. Oh, this is on YouTube. I'm like, no. Go upstairs and play with a Lincoln Log or something. You know what I mean? The way you
have Lincoln Logs no more, man. That's real old school. That's old school right there. You went to Lincoln Logs.
Way back.
Let's that baby give us something. You know what I mean? Because why are you watching a teenager? You're not even a teenager. You're watching teenagers kiss around, and now you're like, oh, I want to do that. No.
And so people say that I'm very old school when it comes to my kids. So like the TV doesn't come on in my house during the week at all. Like you don't have TV. My youngest child has a cell phone by default, but he doesn't take it out the house unless he's with me. Like his phone doesn't go to school with him. And people are like, well, what if he needs an emergency? He knows my number and there's 95% of other folks on the bus or wherever he is with a phone, so he can call me.
Yeah. I can feel that. So my thing with the TV is if for me, like my mother never had to check my homework. My mother never had to worry about, are you doing what you're supposed to do? So I told my children, say, look, I've already graduated high school, middle school, elementary. I got all these diplomas and degrees. This is your time to go to school. So I expect you to do your best. And if your best is a B, I'll take the B. But if your best is an A and you get a B, I've got a problem because you shorten yourself. Don't shortchange. Now my daughter standards are really high. She's like, hey, I'm going to get that A. My son was like, I just want to get that. I'm going to turn it in and then we can go from there, man. We'll see what happens. So
he was a C's get to degrees type of guy.
So no, and it's funny you say that. He was actually he came out of high school with a 4.03. My daughter superseded him, and he said, because he set the bar so high, like he knew, like if you get a C on your report card, doc, you're done playing any kind of sports till the next report card comes out. Because I feel like you are a student athlete first, student first, athlete second. Everything else is a privilege. Like if you can't manage your time to get the grade you're supposed to get, dog, you can't play. You know what I'm saying? I was that guy like, hey, I was just that, I'm gonna skim through it. I'm gonna get a B. I'm good. B's the best I can do. But I'm like, I could have done so much better because my mom never checked my grades. All she wanted to make sure was I was doing what I was supposed to do, turning in the work. And back then, if you missed the deadline, you got a 0. I ain't trying to fail. I want to play. So for me, sports kept me eligible. It helped me get my GPA up to go to college. And I wanted the same thing for my children. I just don't want you to be sitting here, lackluster around. My son's he's a what's the word, procrastinator. So he would wait till the last minute to get stuff done. And so I'm like, you can't do that.
Right.
So, but parents don't, if you're allowing your kid to play when they got an F, you're hurting that child. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the TV, I mean, it pushes a certain agenda. In
It
general.
does.
Like you said, it's always somebody kissing. You know what I'm saying? They are different genders and stuff. And I ain't saying there's anything wrong with that or any wrong with anybody's choices, but these kids don't need to be exposed to that before they hit puberty. And even, you know what I'm saying? Even know how any of this works. Like what are we doing?
Well, that's what the governor down here just, the big bill that just went through
It's like third grade.
Yeah, but between kindergarten and third grade, you can't even talk about like gender issues and things like that.
Yeah,
they put it on you, and then they don't want you to talk about it.
But that goes back to parenting. You're telling parents how to parent. It goes to Michael's statement, like you got children raising children.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you got a grandmother that is 35, like we gotta go. To me, that's sorry. I gotta say it. When you got a grandmother that's 35, like yo, that's
I'm a grandfather already.
I'm just saying. But that goes back to my statement. You got a think back to the day. Like my grandmother, I can remember her being like 60. She was
older.
Yeah, she was older. Yeah. She wasn't no shit. Yeah. She wasn't no.
You know how they say orange is the new black? Grandmother's the new 20.
Yeah.
But we all knew how my mom was. And like I've told my story, that chick didn't play. So she was like, I'm not your child, no. And I told you, she put both of us out.
Yeah.
We also don't even have a community anymore. You know what I mean? Remember how the community raised you too?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you go out and act up.
You can't do that.
Even Miss Johnson on you.
Oh no, because now
you know what I mean?
parents gonna pull up on you and want to fight you for disciplining their child.
Oh
right.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the parenting issue. The parents won't be parents. Like if you don't want to parent your child, then why have them?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like,
I mean that goes back to the law they had to make, because you said they're telling people how to parent their kids, but like such a young generation having kids, they got to do that stuff because they know the parents ain't really, you know what I'm saying, parenting. At that age.
But I think too, I got to go to Jim's statement. Like we have to rebuild that community. We have to rebuild those infrastructures where people can just say, "Hey, look, I don't know how to do this. I need help."
Help.
Yeah, I need help. Like it's funny because one of the ladies at my job, she had a baby, and my mom. I was on the phone with my mom, and she's like, and I was asking the lady about how far along she was. My mom was like, "Oh, look, I'm gonna make her a blanket." The lady thought she was playing. She made her a blanket for the baby, and she was so excited. Like I'm like.
Yeah,
but that's what people would do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people they would give you stuff, like to help you along your way.
But it's not normal anymore. So even when you get a gift, you're like, oh my God, I got a gift. Like it's not normal. Like somebody's gonna do something for me. Wow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can remember being in college, man, and getting like I had buddies that would outgrow their clothes. They were like, hey man, you want these jeans? I'm like, I'll take them. They was like, yo, he the hand-me-down kid. I'm like,
I don't care. I'll take them hand-me-down.
Them jeans is fly, man. I wear them things.
Or the care packages from the parents.
Growing up, we used to switch, you know what I'm saying, gear and stuff. Like,
the only thing I won't take is them skinny jeans. I'm also on those.
Oh man, I bought some pants from Ross. Man, from this department store. Oh my God.
From the they said they throwing no names out.
I ain't throwing no. They don't sponsor us. Man, them things was terrible, man. I'm like, oh my God, what?
Ross because they didn't make them right.
They don't. They don't.
You put them on like a 1X.
Yeah. You got to read the jeans and make sure, because like it's like they make them real tight now. Like that's the new standard.
all
So
they
you
do
got to
now.
get the straight leg,
Yeah, man.
kind of
that'd be
loose
good.
fit. You know what I'm saying? Got to make sure I say it on the jeans because you'll get some.
Man.
Boy.
Well, hey man, I gave them things A-way. You hear me? I gave them pants A-way. I didn't even take them back. I was like, I don't want nobody else to even. I tore the tags off. I was like, I can't take these back. I'm done.
No, as soon as I can see my whole the definition of my calf muscles in it, I'm all set.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. Like, nowadays you can't. Are the fitting rooms back open?
Yeah, they got.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got to start trying clothes back on again. I was.
We got used to not going in the fitting room, so now you know what I mean. Now we got to get back used to things.
Yeah, I thought the fitting room was closed. I didn't even try the clothes on. I just bought them, bailed out. I put them things on. I was like, man, I can see my drawers through these things here.
Yeah.
That's how tight it was. I was like,
man. If a grown man got to jump to get in his jeans,
bad boys out. Yeah. Stop.
Throw these jokers away. Oh man.
I'm not trying to feel your pain about that one. Now I'm upset.
Nah, man. I don't want nobody else to feel my pain on that one, man. Because I was so upset. Because the top, like the shirt, I was fly by the shirt. The pants, though, nope.
You gotta walk with a little switch.
Got a little waddle and stuff. You gotta waddle. You gotta waddle because you can't stroll like you want.
Right.
You start a fire.
You don't have that man stride no more. You just like.
You gotta switch your shoulders and stuff.
Yeah. I can see why women walk like that.
Yeah. You can't do nothing with them pants. You can't do that at all. Nah.
I almost said I'd rather wear sweatpants all day long.
Hey man, hey, you gotta be careful with some sweatpants you buy. They be just as tight.
You got the skinny sweatpants now.
Yeah.
Like
it's
the
more like baggy style.
I don't know what those. I don't know. I remember sweatpants. Those were the baggiest things you wore. It was comfortable. Now you get some that says 3X, 4X, and they fit like a 2X. They're tight.
And they stop. They stop high above. They stop high above your shoe too.
Huh?
Yeah. They stop above
so like
the
look
ankle.
now that the high water look is what's in now.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
What is that, man? That should look
like
big.
You got to show off your ankles.
Basically, you got to be right. Like, well, come on, man. The grown man showing off his ankles for.
Now, look, I'll say this though: the one look I do like that young folks wear these days is with the shoe with no socks looks. I like
the
that.
chino pant.
No, not the pants. Just how to
you just
not the pants.
It's like some Stacey Adams or something like that.
Yeah, you wear your shoes.
Oh, you mean like the loafers with the
Yeah. I can rock the shoes. Yeah,
that's grown man right there. That's
yeah. That's smooth. Yeah,
I can rock the shoe with no socks. Look, I can't.
I can't wear shoes with no socks though.
Yeah, no, I get the socks that you can't see.
My shoes
I do the loafers because
You got some Jim. You got smelly feet.
Yep, I ain't lying about it.
Okay. Hey man,
more socks than
you got athletic feet. That's what it is.
Yep, athletic everything.
Yeah.
You got some athletic Stacey Adams? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but that's a but that look right there, I can rock with that look. But them pants and the clothes, it's just some stores I'm not gonna ever go back into and buy clothes from. Like I do a lot of I gotta know my size before I go buy clothes because I can't.
It's getting out of hand.
Depending on the store, your size ain't your size.
Yeah. And then it's like they making men's clothes kind of like feminine and a little feminine, you know what I'm saying? And I just like, I gotta buy clothes from certain places. I don't like that.
You got to start ordering your clothes because all these stores are now feminine clothes for men.
Yeah. It's like
I have to literally
with the cut.
It takes about 2 hours to find clothes that fit because everything is skinny. Everything's small.
So what I did, one of my buddies turned me on to this suit guy, and he was like, he would get the suit, cut it how you want, and he cut a couple suits, look not tight. I said, look, man, don't give me any form-fitting suits. Make them bag. I gotta get the jackets to be a little bit more tighter, but the pants, I want them Jones to be just as loose as possible.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want that tight fitting, but nah.
Yeah. Suits is getting real tight.
Yeah, man, like biker pants.
Yeah, and
No, yeah.
Can't do that.
So I think what I'm gonna start doing is yeah, I might start having to get a tailor. Let's get clothes made.
Right. Everything tailor
Best
made.
way to do it.
Yeah, might.
I'm just because I wanted to start my own blazer business. And, well, I am going to start my own blazer. I don't like to say. I like to say what I'm going to do. I am going to start my own blazer business. When I do, I'll make sure I have that person on the side to make it fit to where it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Because a lot of things it just don't fit no more the way they're supposed to.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I put this out here for your blazer business? Because I have a friend who just started blazers and suits. So my blazers for women. I want, like, I'm trying to expand my blazer collection. Can you not forget about us women? Because I like a good blazer.
I think they should make blazers make the blazer for women look more feminine.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Not a boxy. I want one that has
some hot design type. You know what I mean? Women blazers, not looking anything like a men's blazer. You know what I mean? That'd be a good business right there. Like men need blazers too. I
agree.
But yeah, I think because it's nothing like, because for us blazers that's an accessory. You got blazers with a cute pair of shorts and heels.
Well, I wouldn't know. That's
for us.
I don't know about shorts and a blazer. That's kind of weird.
There may be some long shorts.
I said for us, like it's an accessory.
Women that wear shorts for blazers?
Like you have a nice pair like linen shorts on and some heels. Like if you're going to a day party, yes.
That's their new style, Jason. I've been seeing it.
To a day party?
They do it to a night party too.
I was about to say, now you know what you've done seen at the club. Don't do that.
I ain't never seen no chicken on blazer at the club.
We don't want to get into that. Yeah. What I see at the club, I do not want to get into that.
Yeah.
It's some sights at that door.
Man.
Yeah.
It's all entertainment for me.
Yeah.
So, Jim, where can our viewers find you to subscribe to your channel?
SavageCom. SavageCom.Entertainment. That's it from me on YouTube.
SavageCom.Entertainment. Great.
Something a little different.
And you're only on YouTube?
Yeah, basically most of it, yeah.
Okay.
So, or if you want to go to my my SavageCom page, I have it right here. It's also the same SavageCom. Entertainment, SavageCom.Ent instead of entertainment spelled all out as ENT.
Is that on Instagram and Facebook?
That's just Facebook. I do have an Instagram page, but have a little difficulties with that right now.
Okay.
So I'm bad, man. I'm bad. I'm a bad guy.
Savage ENT.
Awesome.
Yep, SavageCom.Ent.
So one thing we do ask our guests.
There you go.
Before we leave, we ask our guests to leave us a nugget or a word of encouragement or advice for the week for our viewers. So, what you got for us?
I would say, what I would say is, don't take yourself for granted. Anything that you think is possible, make sure you know it's possible within yourself. Pretty much. Don't limit yourself from anything, because you are capable of doing it.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Facts.
Another great episode.
All right. Shoot.
Michael, you ready?
And come down to SavageCom Entertainment, subscribe, like the show, and enjoy. Come on the panel anytime. I'm up and willing to discuss anything possible.
Well, I told you I got a standing spot on Gender Wars.
Yeah,
Me
definitely.
and Jason gonna have to get on. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to hop on an episode or something.
Yeah, I want to get on the. I'm gonna come on the late night.
Are you getting on the late
Yeah,
night?
so the late night is on. We do Gym at Night is at 9:00 on Thursday. Late night Savages is Wednesday, starts at 8:30. And what I want for that is to go all night whenever anybody jump on at any time. So it's open panel. Come on down.
Dig it.
Yep. It's
Facts.
sports. So if you like sports, that's on Saturdays at 11. 11 on Saturday and 11 on Sunday. Sport. Enjoy. Somebody watching something. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I just I friend requested you and subscribe
Yeah,
and
I got
everything.
you.
Yeah.
Accepted it. Good shit.
Facts.
Yeah,
We
man.
already-
I'm gonna send you the YouTube link.
Yeah. Do that.
All right.
All right. Y'all ready for me to take us out?
Go ahead.
On you, it's
All
on you,
right.
big fella.
Well, if this is your first time tuning in, please like, subscribe, and continue to follow us on this journey. If you've been rocking with us so far, keep on keeping on because we have a lot more amazing episodes to come. I'd like to thank our wonderful guest, Mr. Jim Savage. Appreciate you stopping through. Definitely gonna check out the show, man. Hopefully hop on or something. But keep doing what you're doing, man. It's good stuff. We enjoyed you on the show. I also like to thank my two amazing co-hosts, the lovely Mr. Reese Lovett and Mr. Jason Redmond.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure. We are DTR Incorporated, a nonprofit organization geared toward uplifting, inspiring, and empowering communities all over the world. I'd like to thank you for tuning in tonight. And remember, our goal is not to be better than anybody, but together we can achieve better for everybody. Thank you. Good night. Peace.
Good night.
We're gonna try to segue all those things into that regarding
At
the
school, they knew what fraternities you were in.
Definitely wasn't an easy decision. I sat down with my dad